these extended shackles have to go. Let's get the car back on some stock shackles. What's up guys, my name is Andy, and on this video we're going to replace the lifted shackles on the rear of my 66 Fastback with the stock height shackles and get that rear lowered a little bit. In the previous video I had dropped the front with doing the Shelby mod, and then I did lowering springs in the front, had to cut a half a coil to get that car right where I wanted. Now it's time to take care of the back. The back has an extended set of shackles, which was common thing to do back a long time ago. You want to lift the rear up, you can put some bigger tires back there. That's not the look I'm going for with this car. So what I want to do is put the stock height shackles back on there. That will lower the rear back to what we'll call the stock height. And then we'll be able to take from there, go, okay, do we want to do a 1-inch lowering or a 2-inch lowering with the rear leaf springs? And we'll know where the car's sitting with that. So let's go ahead and get those shackles off there and we'll see how it comes out. So now that we got the car jacked up, this shackle, you can see this is the stock height that we're going to be using. And this system, we can just pull this out and put these in. We don't have to do anything else other than just undo the bolts and put the new ones in. But you'll want to support, see I jacked up the car and then I'll support each side individually with a jack so that this doesn't come down, because the weight of the axle, if I undo this, will drop that spring. But if I support that spring, then I can just undo this, and we can use the jack to kind of lift this spring up into the point where these are going to connect. Also, don't forget when you put these in there, you're going to want to put some lubrication grease on here so they'll slide inside the eyelets of the leaves and up inside here a lot more easily. So let's get these out. All right, now that we got this bracket out, we can go ahead and we can get this ready to go. And what you'll find is, so these bushings are still in the leaf springs. You may be able to utilize the existing bushings that are in there, or you might have to take everything apart. On these, I can disassemble this whole thing, and then I just have these pieces, which we might be able to just use because these will just fit right in there, and then that way I can use these bushings. These bushings are fairly new. These ones are obviously newer, but I have plans to replace these leaf springs anyway, so I might as well just save these for when I get the new leaf springs. So let's go ahead and put the bracket in. All right, we got the shackles in, and you can see that the bolt here is rubbing on the exhaust. That's okay. I'm gonna get the exhaust modified anyways coming up soon, but this is gonna rattle, so I might have to just cut this tube off or do something. You also might be able to put this side in from this direction, which would put the nuts on this side. But if your exhaust is in the way like mine is, then you can't do that. So just something to think about when you're putting these in. But yeah, so that's all in place there. Now we can go ahead and get the other side done. So I'll do that real quick. All right, we got the driver's side done. You can see here also that the bolt is resting on the exhaust. I'm gonna have to do something about that. But we got these installed. Now we can go ahead and drop the car and see how it came out. Alright guys, those shackles are done. You know, when I started this video, I got in a hurry and I didn't measure the height of the fender of the wheel well there before we started. So we don't have anything to compare to. But I do know that those shackle pieces that I took out, those bars that were back there, they were 7 inches from mounting hole, and the new ones are 3.5 inches. Now, I don't think I dropped the car 3.5 inches, maybe half of that, because we've got the mounting point and the front of the leaf springs is still the same. We just changed the height of the back. So if we cut that in half, maybe 1 3/4 of an inch or something like that, or 1.5, somewhere around there is probably what we really dropped, getting back to the stock shackles. But from here, I measured. So if we measure, we got about 26.5 inches to the highest point here, and we got 24.5 up front. I don't want that to be the same height as the front. So if we drop it 1 inch in the rear, that would be 25.5. This is 24.5. That would be all right. I don't think that 2-inch rear leaf springs is going to be where I want. I want to be at 24.5 in the back there. So we're going to go with a 1 inch, which would be the mid-eye rear leafs. We'll get those ordered, get them installed, and then we'll see how that comes out. And if we need to, maybe we'll do 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch lowering blocks if we need to get this thing to be the right height. But much better. I don't like those things hanging off the back, those shackles. I like the way this looks now. We just get 1 inch drop, we'll be set. Also, the bolts off of those shackles are rubbing against the exhaust pipes. I don't like that. I was thinking about just cutting those off, but I am going to redo the exhaust coming up in a little while, so I'll just wait and take care of those then. So guys, that takes care of that. New shackles on the car, car's drop much better. If you guys like the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out, and we'll see you in the next one.